In the best place to be. Royal Ascot 2025 is beginning as we speak. You might know social media, whether you're on X, Meta. We've hired an audience for tonight. Can we hear from the audience out there? Hey, absolutely marvellous. Welcome to Royal Windsor Racecourse for the Betano Royal Windsor 2025 Royal Ascot preview. 5 days, the greatest show on turf is here at last. All the talking is silly done, and we've got the best in the business to bring to you this evening. Myself, Dave Orton, well, you all know me, doubtless, of course. Let's go down the panel, and I'll tell you a little bit about what you could expect in the next 45 minutes to an hour or so. Betano Ambassador, well on brand. If you're not sure who Betano is, they are a bookmaker who's sort of like really getting to grips with it now. They're launching Best Odds Guaranteed. They sponsor Aston Villa as well, would you believe it? And they have Kate Tracey. Can we have a round of applause for Kate Tracey, please? Who is their ambassador? You might notice her for match days, of course, on Aston Villa days and Sky Sports with myself. Kate, welcome along.
Thank you so much. Yeah, great to be here.
Are you going to be telling everyone what odds they can be back in?
I shall. I've got all of the races listed in front of me here, so thank goodness the Wi-Fi is holding up. So yeah, all of the odds ready to go and best odds guaranteed for Betano.
Yeah, we're in the marvellous Riverbank area at Windsor, and unlike some racecourses, the Wi-Fi is the thing. Charlie Poste, BBC 5 Live, you'll be doing this week, of course. Former jump jockey, won the Welsh Grand National, but that's not why he's here tonight, thank goodness, because we don't want to know, well, anything about jumpers. You've also got a new business, Charlie, where you do sort of like, is it pin hooking? Is that what we call it?
Yeah, pin hooking. So we prepare horses for the breeze up sales, and we're fortunate enough, a couple of the horses we sold this spring are running the Queen Mary on Wednesday.
So you've got some horses that you brought through as babies running? We
bought them as yearlings, prepped them, so they breeze 500 metres on the racetrack against the clock, and they're sold on the back of that performance.
Should we be getting excited about this, or don't get it out of the way yet?
I mean, I'm getting excited, and I take a bit of getting excited.
And before we go to our final guest, it's been a tricky night for you, Charlie, isn't it? Because you actually broke down in your car, didn't you, in Oxford Services on your way here with about an hour to go. You had to get an Uber here. You definitely, do you work for Royal Mail, Charlie Poste and all that?
Well, as has been said before, always delivers. And I did for you, because I thought you just tell me to take the night off, and once you started crying on the phone.
It's beads of sweat, Charlie, that's what it is, because it is pretty warm out there. One man that never sweats, Sky Sports senior analyst, Jamie Lynch, joins us. Round of applause for Lynchy, please. Thank you. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Lynchy, this is where you and me set the scene now.
Yeah.
5 days. Is it the Olympics, or is that a bit of a go-to cliche?
Not a go-to cliche, Dave, but you're the man for a go-to cliche.
Correct.
But all you hear when you come in is, what's the Wi-Fi code? Have I got strong Wi-Fi? No need for me to have Wi-Fi. All in there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, great stuff. So we're going to move on. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at each of the 5 days for you out there. Get your social media questions in at home. We're going to have a bit of a Q&A at the end, as with the best bets, which is what a lot of you are actually here for, was why you're tuning in. So let's crack on with it, shall we? We start tomorrow, the Tuesday, which, believe it or not, is going to be the best weather-wise. And when I say weather-wise, we're looking at about degrees of about 25, aren't we? So we're going to be wearing the top hats, getting a little bit sweaty. Let's hope the horses on their way down will be absolutely fine. We start off, I mean, the Tuesday, Lynchy, is the pièce de la résistance in the flat race in Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the best of the best. It's the best day for the best meeting and the best time of year. But don't come to me for this first race. There are 35 races at Royal Ascot through the week, and this is the one race that I can't work out.
All right, okay. Well, me and Kate will try and do that. So if you're watching at home, you'll be able to see the markets appearing in front of your eyes. For our live audience tonight, we'll be talking you through it. It is the Queen Anne. 2:30 is the port of call for Tuesday. Race is taking you up to 6:10. We're going to be looking at the main plays. The Queen Anne, which is over the straight mile, and is thought to be one of the best races in the world, the best milers turning up. Kate, these have got a lot of, they've run against each other a lot of times. Who is Betano's favourite at the minute?
9-4 Rosalien, the favourite at the time of recording. Lead artist 11-2, Notable Speech at 9-2, Dancing Gemini 11-2, and 6-1 Bar. I think John Gosden himself, a trainer of lead artists, described this as the best renewal in a generation, and I don't think he's too far wrong.
The best renewal in a generation. Now, these horses, the top four in the betting, they're 9-4, just over 2-1, as I'm sure a lot of you will know. We'll work out whether he should be getting shorter than that nearer the time. There's a lot of people that think Rezalian, who won at the meeting last year, the great 3-year-old Jamie, should just be improving and taking this out. But he did finish third behind a couple at Newbury on his return.
Yeah, this is where the slippers of familiarity just slide off your feet a little bit. And the right answer to this puzzle, it seems to be Rezalian. You asked me what's going to win. My mouth wants to say Rezalian. But I'm just taking a little step back because the reality doesn't quite match the myth with this horse anymore. It's a year ago since we saw that performance, and it was a little underwhelming what he did at Newbury, and therefore, personally, Dave, I'd just rather swerve him at 9-4.
The audience will not be wanting to hear that. Has anyone in the audience backed Rezalian? Has anyone with him? Put your hands up. Come on, we can hear you out there. There's just one hand gone up. That's ridiculous. 5-1 he's now saying as well. We've got an after-timer in the audience. Marvellous. You thought he was good at Newbury. All right, brilliant stuff. He should improve. Posty, this is the big favourite, the first race. Betano will be trying to get it beat. Are you?
No, I'm not. I'm with him. I'm with Rezalian, yeah. I mean, I think you've got to look at the lock-ins in, did Rezalian and Notable Speech, are they going to jump forward for that run up against Dancing Gemini and Lead Artist who had preps going into it? I think Rezalian will. I thought he travelled real strong in the race, and I thought he looked to me like a classic horse that's going to improve for it. We know he's good at the meeting. He'd been off a long time before Newbury, and yeah, I think he's going to get it done.
All right, so he is 9-4, okay? But there's a horse called Lead Artist, Jamie, that beat him at Newbury. He's 4.5 to 1, around about 5 to 1 mark. Why shouldn't he just go and do it again?
Just because he was in the right place at the right time in every single sense, through the race, but also the time of year. He'd had that run of Sandown, and I think that Asheen Murphy was very, very good in the quiet in just putting him in the right spot. Dancing Gemini came to beat him, and he came past. But I don't think those, I think that Notable Speech and Rezalian go past them two tomorrow.
Kate, you do represent Betano this evening, of course, but you do like a swing at the ring. All right? I mean, you can take that as you like it. But you like a swing at the ring. Who's the bet?
That's an absolute hospital pass because I'm with Rezalian.
You're with Rezalian?
Yeah, I'm going to be annoying my employers here. But no, I'm with Rezalian and with Posty as well here, where I just thought that Lockins run, he just looked as though he needed it. First start for 11 months. And what you really wanted to see from that performance was just him travelling into the contest to make sure he was still the same horse as he was before, which I think he proved, and then he just tied up in the closing stages. But it confirmed to me he's still the St. James's Palace horse from last year, where, of course, Notable Speech was a disappointment that day, and I'm expecting that form to be upheld.
Rezalian. Lynchy, are we agreeing on a bit of a curveball that no one's looked at so far?
I think so. I'm just going a bit left field with this. And part of that is that it might be a falsely run race. There's no pace in there, and that's going to get Rezalian Notable Speech potentially a bit gassy. And therefore, you want a bit of finishing speed. Who's the horse with the most finishing speed? It's Lake Forest, isn't it? A 7-furlong horse who's going up in trip.
Yeah.
And I think he might just be the right horse for this spot. That's what I'm thinking. It's less ability and more compatibility with this race. I just think he might be a big price.
What a price are we getting, Lake Forest?
11 to 1.
11 to 1 with Betano now. Now, this is a horse I can make a passionate case for this. I'll be on Sky Sports Racing tomorrow doing exactly this. And I expect the 11 to 1 to go. Okay, this is going to be no more. It's owned by a guy called Tony Bloom, who a lot of you will know owned Brighton Racecourse. And he owns the Brighton Pier, he owns Brighton, all the restaurants, and he also owns the football club. And he's also one of the best gamblers in the world. And this has got the stink of a plot about it. He will absolutely love the straight course at Ascot, which is on the steady incline he's going to be coming. Tom Marquand's on. They'll all be looking at the lock-in Jawses. These guys will look at a bit at Rezalian, and me and Lynch will be eye-eyeing with our top hats in the air. All right, that's the very first race, okay? That is the Queen and Done. Final selections for you there. They'll be coming up on screen shortly. We must, of course, move on now because it's just Group 1s absolutely all over the place. Well, we should say, Kate, as well, that Betano are going to offer our lucky audience here tonight, and if you're watching exclusively, super boosts, as they call them throughout the night. Yeah. We have got one coming up, but it's not going to be in the King Charles III, all right, which is the first of our sprint races coming up on the night. So this is basically blink and you miss it, 5 furlongs. Where do we want to be? We'll find out from the two men on the far side of the panel after Kate gives us the odds.
Yeah, Asphora, now 4 to 1 favourite for the King Charles III stakes, which probably feels about right, really, going back to retain her crown. Believing 9 to 2, 13 to 2 Regional now, who's drifted out, 7 to 1 Night Raider, and 15 to 2 Bar about the rest. 15 to 2 Bar. Right, okay, who's going to be the king or queen of the sprinters going forward? Posty, Asphora. It's fair to say that Ascot is known for its international raiders. They've been a little bit far and few on
on the ground. We've got them coming this week, but she will be the biggest of them, I would imagine. She won this race last year. She comes in off a decent prep. Like the odds?
I'm against her myself. I mean, she's not had the prep in Britain this time round, and I'm going with Megara for me. You know, had reasonable French form, but probably be taken to a new level with Ed Walker. I thought she was really good at Haydock last time. I think this track will suit her even better, this stiff finishing track, and there's pace all around her with Asphora and Night Raider.
What price is Mgira?
15 to 2.
15 to 2, 7.5 to 1. So Betano are thinking this has got a definite chance because this was bigger a lot earlier in the week. 2 from 2 since joining Ed Walker. The Lloyd Webbers have bought into her. She's going to go to Australia soon. I like her as well. We're getting 7.5 to 1. Lynchy, who wins the sprint, easy race.
I quite like the angle with the pace right down the middle, that Arrowhead, Night Raider and Asterius 7 and 9. And it brings me to a horse, I think it's a massive price this, but this Jassoa, the one of Clive Cox's.
28 to 1.
Was third
28 to 1.
in the Commonwealth Cup last year, and what he's wanted all along is 5 furlongs and a hood. And for the first time ever, he's got that combination and a fast run race. And he had a blowout at Haydock where, again, he just weighs too keen. But that's a big run of that at a big price, Jassoa. I'm pretty sure that under the right circumstances, he can win a race like this. It's a winnable race.
This is a meeting where you shouldn't be afraid to take a price at all. And by that, what we mean is if there's a favourite in it, we've seen 80 to 1 winners, 150 to 1, the biggest in Royal Ascot history, if you think they've been going since the 1700s. That happened only a couple of years ago. Take a price. And you're saying do it with Clive Cox, Jassoa in the sprint.
Yeah, Clive's
for the boil over.
Yeah, Clive's popped up in these types of races at Ascot before. And he's just a horse who's got the right toolkit for what's going to play out tomorrow.
Kate, give us a winner.
Yeah, that Clive Cox form is just starting to turn as well. And he had that really impressive debutant winner at Newbury the other day.
That one?
So impressive, yeah. So in the Rooney colours, wasn't it? Yeah, so that form is just starting to turn, which is making me nervous because those Clive Cox horses, you can't discount at Ascot ever. But again, I'm being unoriginal because Asphora, earlier on in the week, when she was about third favourite, I couldn't get my head around it. I mean, the very clever Betano traders have agreed with me now because they've clipped her into 4 to 1 favouritism to go back and retain her crown. I will put the question to you. Does this look a stronger renewal than last year? Because I don't think so.
Put the question to Lynchy. He's the form analyst.
Go on then.
No, I agree with you. This is no stronger. In fact, 3 of the first 4 home, prominent in the betting. But my back to you, Kate, is that why would you not do the same?
I know.
Why would you not have the same approach, and why are you putting blinkers on? It just smells a bit whiffy with Asphora this year.
I know, they are the two things, isn't it? It's for different prep. Last year, she wintered in Australia, and then she went to Haydock in May, and then came here. She's had the 2 runs in Oz in spring, and now she's had the 2-month freshen up. And it is, like you say, I hate it when you've got a different approach rather than a working formula. Why would you deviate from that? And the blinkers, just that added extra. However, I just don't see this as anything stronger than last year, and I just think that, cliche, Aussie sprinters are better than ours.
Aussie sprinters are better than ours, that's the word. Okay, so 2 from Gira, 1 for the favourite, and...
Oh, Jassoa.
Jassoa out of the park for Lynchy. This is why we pay him the big bucks. All right, okay, there's 2 races down. The big race of the week comes up next. The St James's Palace Stakes, which is the 3-year-olds, the classic generation, taking each other on. And the first race around the bend. The odds will be coming up on your screen with Betano as we speak, but for our audience, Kate, take us through. And we should say this is the first of the super boosts of the week. It's Field of Gold, currently priced at 7 to 4.
Yeah, and general price now 4 to 5 as well, so that 7 to 4 is very big. Also, lengthen your odds prices are very interesting with the price boost on Field of Gold. 5, 6, 6 to 5, 13 to 8, I can see there for various different lengthen your odds markets as well.
When you say lengthen your odds, what do you mean? For him to win by a certain amount of lengths?
So 5 to 6, bet to win by half a length or more. 6 to 5 by 1 length or more. 13 to 8, a length and a half or more. State of my Cornish accent that's coming out there now, but Field of Gold. Currently at 4 to 5 general, but like you say, make sure to take advantage of the super boost though. 130 ruling court, 7 to 2 Henri Matisse. 22 to 1 bar, so big jump in the market.
This is an unbelievable race, and I'm not going to even bother asking Kate Tracey what she thinks is going to win because she's telling you to lengthen your odds on Field of Gold. This is the Irish Guineas winner, Field of Gold, for anyone who doesn't know and has been hiding under a rock, and he's probably been the sexiest horse so far on the flat we have seen in any code in Europe. Then we've got, of course, the 2,000 Guineas winner, our Guineas winner at Newmarket, Ruling Court, who comes here. He should have run in the Derby, but we all got very wet on the Derby weekend. He doesn't run. And we've got the French Guineas winner here as well for the Master, Aidan O'Brien, Henri Matisse, who you're probably going to be thinking will be the one that could set them up. Race of the week, Posty?
Yes, without doubt. Yeah, I mean, and a really tough one to call. You know, I mean, I think Field of Gold is probably the most talented horse of the three at this trip. I'm just going to chuck a curveball to Lynch. Is the ground a concern or not if it keeps drying up for him?
What, Field of Gold?
Yeah.
Just potentially because it makes it a real out-and-out speed test.
Yeah.
Boston's already thinking about the next port of call, which is 10 furlongs. So, yeah, the more this is a burn-up, I think the more worried they might be with him.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to want decent ground? I thought that was the king, because he went. This isn't a horse that's gone through his whole career 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, is it? As a 2-year-old, he had some holes.
I just thought at Newmarket on the ground there. Now maybe it was more track related. I thought I personally don't buy into that. Kieran Schumacher gave him a shocker that day.
This is the jockey who's been replaced.
I think the horse he just didn't pick up. And now whether that was ground related or track related. And once he hit the rising ground, he took off. Now, Ascot as a track should suit him better, like the Curra did. But I just think if it ends up very dry and it ends up very quick, it would be a question mark for me.
You're taking him on?
I am. I'm with Henri Matisse, because I think he's guaranteed to love this setup.
The French Guineas winner. And he talks about the setup of the race, Lynchy. There are pacemakers in this race. So it's like when you go in athletics, half of the field have got absolutely no chance according to form, but they're there to ensure it's truly run. And Aidan O'Brien runs 2 pacemakers.
Need a little minute, because I'm just getting a little nergasm at the fact of what this race is. 3 absolute weapons, and then 3 pacemakers as well. Juden wouldn't have got a pacemaker.
Yeah.
So why is Aidan O'Brien running 2 pacemakers in this race? It's because he thinks he's got a right chance of beating Field of Gold with a specific setup, and that's why he's running 2. And part of that is that who's the fastest horse in here? The recorded top speed, Ruling Court 41.2 miles an hour, Field of Gold 41.8 miles an hour, Henri Matisse, 42.5 miles an hour. He's done that not once but twice at the Breeders' Cup last year and again in France. So Aidan's thinking, I might not have a better horse than Field of Gold, but I've got a faster horse than Field of Gold. If I can play it right and serve it as a platform for Ryan up the straight, do you rely on Ryan? Of course you do. So therefore, with me, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer that Henri Matisse, he has, I promise you, got the turbo to give Field of Gold all sorts of problems.
Ryan Moore will, of course, be expected to be the top jockey throughout the week. He has the ride on Henri Matisse. It's amazing, isn't it? We watch these big races with Ryan Moore and Aidan O'Brien, and everyone says it's boring, they win them all. I think on Derby weekend you had 30 to do, 90 to do. So take a prize, basically. Has anyone noticed that Ryan's got 6 rides tomorrow and he's all drawn 1? Every single one of his rides is in stall 1. I'm not sure whether that's ever happened before. It's potentially troublesome, isn't it, on the round track at Ascot. All right, so let's get towards tips. Come on, Field of Gold. Who thinks it's the banker of the week? Joe Norris, get your tips out. You do. Absolutely 100%. Kate does. Banker of the week. I like this. We are doing naps, Kate, as well. I hope you've not put that up. Posty, come on, what wins him? What beats him then?
Henri Matisse, yeah.
Henri Matisse?
Yeah, 7 to 4 is a big prize.
Yeah.
We've got to move on, but why has no one said Ruling Court here? This is doing my head in a bit.
10-day, because Charlie Appleby, we know he's the most phenomenal trainer, but 10-day turnaround to get your horse to peak at a mile 4 in the biggest flat race of them all, and then to bring him back without him exerting the energy in the Derby, and then to bring him back 10 days later, different trip, different ground against this competition. I mean, he's going to have to be at his unbelievable best to be beating this field.
Amazing. All right, there are other races on the Tuesday. We'll get a chance to do a Q&A session again socially. Get your questions in. This is where we'll be asking them at the end of the show. Anything else on the Tuesday? Of course, we've got the first 2-year race. It's called the Coventry, of course, over the 6 furlongs. It looks like it should be 10 to 1 the field to me, this Kate Tracey. Let me let you get the odds up for the Coventry. But just a quick question from the panel. Is there a superstar? There's a horse called Gustard. Has anyone noticed this? He's called Alan in the stable, of course. But I want to be tipping Alan Gustard in the Coventry. I think they might throw me off Sky potentially tomorrow. All right, the absolute Gustard if he beats you. Yeah. All right, but I think he can win this race. Does anyone like anything in Coventry? What price is Gustard?
9-2 favourite, military code 5s, 9-2 postmodern, 8-1 bar.
I don't know if anyone was here a couple of weeks ago for American Gulf when that horse won here 2 weeks ago. I mean, I'm a times person. That horse ran very fast at the start and end of that race. Unusual to see him clear the field from a wide draw and still go away from the finish. That looks on time.
Fitri Hazels,
a proper horse. That.
Paul and Ollie Cole can nearly win this, can't they? Was it Scotsman, wasn't it?
Royal Scotsman, yeah.
Royal Scotsman, that very nearly won.
3 times.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's got a chance. Oh, wins a winner at Royal Ascot. That'd be good. We might get invited back. Posty?
Nothing for me in the Coventry, no.
No, anything else on Tuesday?
I mean, I thought Sons and Lovers in the Wolferton if he goes there.
Horse that never wins. He's got one waiting with him. What are you doing?
I thought the run behind Los Angeles, and then there's a listed winner subsequently in 3rd. I thought he's a chance. And I mean, just throughout the week, there's a big angle with backing horses that were Michael Stout last year, and the King's horse reaching high.
The now retired legend, Sir Michael Stout to you.
And I hate to say it, but there's a big angle.
You're suggesting that last year was anything that runs from Stouties is going to improve a stone.
I mean, there's a couple of them this week in the side sail colours that are very, very interesting.
And here to give us his thoughts himself,
Sir Michael Stout, everyone. All right, Posty, don't go to Barbados anytime soon, mate. He's got a lot of posters.
January.
Oh, you're booked. There you go, Michael.
Oh, he's an absolute genius. But I'm just you got to say what you see, haven't you?
Stats are there.
All right, okay, we'll move on. We could go down a rabbit hole there. All right, let's go to the Wednesday, shall we? Where the Prince of Wales Stakes is going to be our big race today. I would be up there with thinking this is as good as any race on the week, all right? We've got the brilliant Los Angeles, who will be the super boost, I'm pretty sure, for Betano on the Wednesday. Kate, how do we bet?
12 to 5, the field. These modern prices. Yeah, 12 to 5 Los Angeles, Anmar 100 to 30, 4 to 1 Map of Stars, 11 to 2 Ombudsman, and 13 to 2 Bar.
12 to 5, a fraction then for Los Angeles. Who, Jamie Lynch? It's Ryan Moore again. Not sure if he's drawn in one this time. I think he's drawn five or something like that. Five in
Good
five.
memory.
The grey matter is there. But they're going to have a pacemaker for this, and only in Aidan O'Brien's world could they run a former classic winner, of course, as a pacemaker continuous, who as a 3-year-old was brilliant, won a St. Ledger. Now he's just a snail for them all, basically. And he's invented himself as a 4-year-old again, right?
Yeah. I think it's almost an admission, though, that it's not his ideal trip. They are trying to force a square peg into a round hole with his 10 furlongs on fast ground. I mean, this is a horse who was demonstrably a 1.5 mile specialist last year, and his whole season has been mapped out, apart from this slight detour, which worries me. And I do think that a really natural 1.25 mile horse in here is Ombudsman. When he won in France last year, his time was sensational. That was the one time he had fast ground, and it worked out really well in all sorts of senses. So Ombudsman, after that reappearance from behind Almakam.
For Godolphin.
Yeah.
He came in at Sandown route, which everyone likes.
He went off
sure
5 to 4 against the Almakam.
They smashed him, didn't they?
Yeah, they think it's a proper one, this.
All right, okay, so Godolphin to win the Prince of Wales.
Yeah.
Posty.
Yeah, I'm a Los Angeles fan. Yeah, I mean, I think Aidan said at Longchamp in the arc over a 1.5 miles, he was left alone in front. That doesn't suit him. He's going to get a strong tempo from continuous. Ryan will track him through. He'll take it up, turning in, and I think we'll see the same thing as what we saw at the Curragh, that he'll just grind it out and outstay them. I don't see Matt turning the form around.
Oh, it's because he cruised into the race, didn't he? Went very low on the exchanges. What about Map of Stars, Kate, who's coming over for Francis-Henri Graffard, who's basically the best French trainer these days. Sorry, Andre Fabre, but he is. And they'll be fancying him for Wathenham Racing, who've got big chances all throughout the week.
Yeah, they've got, how many runners do they have this week? How many more are they going to buy tonight? 4 to 1. I think they
Carl
can
Burke
jump
seems
by
to have
more.
sold them everything in the yard.
One of yours, probably.
No, not one there. But yeah,
we'll get to yours.
Everything I keep seeing is change colours.
Yeah.
Carl Burke to Wathenham.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's the Qataris, of course. They could do that.
It's 4 to 1 Map of Stars.
4 to 1. Has he got a chance?
I'm with Anmar here. I think he will reverse that.
Is ground not a factor of both of those?
They want it softer, you mean?
I would say
They
definitely.
don't want this horrible sunshine, he says, under a suit.
I know
Because
Anmar.
we're cooking here.
We are cooking
We are baking away. Anmar, but he's proven himself earlier. I know he's had his hold-ups in his career, but he's proven himself earlier on that good firm's no sort of issue for him. I think people go back to that Champions Stakes win over the same course and distance last year and think maybe he's kind of a back end of a season type. But the way, if you get one race to go back and watch a replay of, go back and watch that race, because still to this day how he won that is beyond me. I know with Clandagan in second, which may not be as impressive a feat now as it was at the time, but I think because he's a 7-year-old gelding, people just underestimate him still. And the fact that he posted his career high RPR on that penultimate start shows that he's as good as ever. So I wouldn't discount him just because he's a 7-year-old gelding. So Anmar 130 for me.
No 7-year-old has ever won this race yet.
There you go.
Yeah, but these records are there to be broken, aren't they? Okay, for what it's worth, I thought Map of Stars would definitely be there or thereabouts, but I'm here for Los Angeles winning as well. Wednesday's a great day, isn't it? We've got the Hunt Cup, of course. We've got the Queen Mary, Charlie, which kicks off the course, the straight course on the Wednesday, the 2:30 race. You've got 2 fillies in it.
Yep.
Give us the case.
So I'll go with the one that's shortest in the betting, Society Kiss. She breezed very well at the Craven, Rafe Beckett border, and she was really impressive at Ascot 17 days after the sale. She equalled No Nay Never's track record on that day.
You've actually got a track record out at Ascot. That is a
Well, an equal. I
for
suppose,
those of
a
us
joint,
that
yeah.
for those of us that know, it had to be equal, didn't it?
Yeah.
For those of us that know you, that is a quite astonishing feat.
No, I mean, like, so she's very exciting, you know. I mean, I think she's trained well from then to here, and she must go there with an obvious chance. Obviously, Lynchy would know more about picking through the form than me. And then the other one is Shine On Me, a horse that we sold to Wathnan in training with Archie Watson. She ran at Lingfield and completely fluffed her lines. Now, again, going to the Times, which I know you love, Tom Biggs, who's part of the Blandford team, told me she lost 0.85 of a second falling out the stalls through the first furlong. And then from the second furlong to the line, she was over half a second quicker than the winner. Now, I'm not saying she's going to go and win the Queen Mary, but I think she's nearly 50 to 1.
Yeah, 50s.
50 to 1.
I wouldn't put anyone off.
Who rides?
James McDonald, which I don't think that's a negative, is it?
Now, for those of you that don't know, James McDonald is coming up from Australia to ride a horse who we will get to, and he's going to ride for Wathnan. He's absolutely brilliant. Jamie's ridden winners at Royal Ascot before. He's thought to be, with Ryan Moore, the best jockey in the world, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, on all the measurements and metrics, it's James McDonald and Ryan Moore who are ahead of the pack.
Yeah, and we're talking about a 50 to 1 shot. There's some rhyme in this reason. I spoke to Richard Brown, the Wathnan Supremo, on Sky the other day, and I bowled him this as a curveball because Wathnan have got the big favourite in the race called Zelena. Has anyone here backed Zelena already? There's loads of people that are basically putting this up as the banker of the week. Just quickly, should we have a 2-year-old banker of the week? Is it madness?
The only thing I would say, and she looks super talented. I think at the time, as Jamie will probably allude to, is very good at Nottingham, but she is a free goer, and it's a stiff track Ascot, and she's got to cope with the whole environment as well. So at 7 to 4, I would say, for me, I'd be slightly cautious if you weren't on at the bigger prices.
I'm going to get on this 50 to 1 shot. Seriously, I am. I haven't backed it yet, but I think you're going to win the Queen Mary with a 50 to 1 shot.
Society Kisses 9.
I mean, it's James McDonald, isn't it? It's mad. I would rather have a tenner each way with Betano on a 50 to 1 shot than be taking a 7 to 4 shot in this race.
Yeah.
Madness.
I mean, I think the filly of ours was, I think she was nearly, like, she was a good bit quicker than this one at Doncaster in the breeze up sales. Not that 500 metres equates to 5 furlongs, you know.
All right, okay, there you go. You've been given a 50 to 1 shot, basically, that should probably be a lot shorter. If she won at Lingfield, she would be going through. Anything else on Wednesday? Lynchy, Hunt Cup, you must have one for us to knock out the park here, haven't you?
I did look at that treasure time of William Haggis's.
For the race share lot.
He backs himself to get them ready first time out. I think he's protected this one's handicap mark, and the form is super strong, and he's booked Warren Fentiman already. I just like the look of that.
Warren Fenton was a young 17-year-old jockey who might well be the leading apprentice of the year, which are young jockeys, basically. They could take weight off the back of horses, theoretically, giving them a better chance. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but for those that don't at home, maybe I'll tell them that. I thought Treasure Time had a chance. Can you tell me the price of this?
I can't because Wi-Fi's gone.
Ah!
I just chuck another one in. Bo Pedro ran
You're doing so well.
Yeah, 9-year-old Bo Pedro.
I like Bo Pedro in the Hunt Cup. I thought he was... Well, the setup at Epsom was all wrong for him, but he still stayed on late. And I'm not... I mean, I think he's...
He never wins.
I know he doesn't, but...
That's another horse you've given us that never wins. 16 to 1, I'm being told.
Places are on offer.
With Betano. I genuinely think that's got a massive chance. Yeah. Just very quickly, before we move on to the Thursday in the Gold Cup, 4 punters. Again, when should you be taking these prices of horses? Obviously, look, we're doing the preview on the eve of the meeting. When do you bet, Lynchy? 10 minutes before a race? Or do you mind if your horse drifts out of this meeting at all?
Well, I bet on the morning of, and therefore you've got as much information as you can and still be able to get ahead of time. So that's personally when I think is the sweet spot.
But drifters do win at
Of course,
Ascot,
yeah,
don't they?
of course.
Of course, all right. And I'm pushing out the best odds guaranteed a bit here, but that's basically exactly what happens. Let's move on, shall we? Is the race of the week again the Gold Cup coming up? 2 miles 4. It was certainly used to be the race of the week. I think from a spectacle point of view, that's the one I get out of bed for each week. If it was just one race at Royal Ascot, I would have to have. This is it. And Kate, are you getting these odds up, or do you want me to get?
We're getting there,
All
but
right,
you may.
all right, put it in. There's no Kyprios this year who's won the last 2 renewals of the Gold Cup over the 2 mile 4. People just pile into Royal Ascot thinking, if I'm going to back one horse today, it'll be Kyprios. We've got no Kyprios this year. We do have a horse, though, called Illinois, who will be the favourite, we think, barring accidents, for Aidan O'Brien and that man again, Ryan Moore. And he is going to be the super boost from Betano on Thursday. You'll be doubling your odds there. Kate, what is he at the moment?
6 to 4 currently. Actually, out from 5 to 4. Illinois is 6 to 4 now. 3 to 1 Candelari, who's been clipped in a point. Trawler Man being clipped in as well, a point. 3 to 1 as well as Candelari, and 6 to 1 Bar about the rest.
There are some trends in this race. They usually come from the top 3 or 4 in the betting, Lynchy. This is not the one where you often have a swing at the bat.
No, but the betting is saying how does Charlemagne beat Candelaria in Illinois? Where I'd say, how do Illinois and Candelaria beat Charlemagne? Because this is a home fixture for him.
This is Godolphin, of course, the Royal Blue. He won on his return. He's got loads of Ascot form. He beat Kyprios once, of course.
I think that the betting underestimates how good Charlemagne is. There's only 2 horses ever beaten Kyprios over staying distances. One was Elderoff after Kyprios had a year out. And the other was this fella. He did get a Frankie Special, but he's the only horse that could live with him.
Are we all going for Charlemagne? Is this going to be unanimous?
Yeah, I think so.
Team
Steam, yeah.
That's Team Steam. Yeah. Team Steam. All right, it's a bit steamy, but I'm not sure I want to get involved with you on the steam. All right, Team Steam. All right, we're going in all on Charlemagne.
Yep.
All right, that could be if we were doing a charity bet, which we're not, by the way. But that would be the one. Charlemagne wins the Gold Cup, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, marvellous. OK, anything else left field, Lynch, we should be looking at in the Gold Cup?
Not in the Gold Cup. No. Team Steam, that's all we're in.
I know.
All right, OK. Well, let's move to the fillies, shall we? One of the best fillies races of the week. I think maybe my bet of the whole entire week might be coming up in the RIBBLESDALE Stakes, which is basically mile 4 around Ascot, stiff test. We usually see horses that have gone to Epsom come here. This, to my eyes, guys, looks a particularly weak edition of the RIBBLESDALE. And one horse really stands out to me. Kate, how do they bet with the Betano?
9-4 Catalina del Caprio, 3-1 Serenity Prayer, 6-1 Garden of Eden, 6 is Life is Beautiful, 8-1 Lady Vivian, and 9 Spa.
You're telling me I'm getting 3-1 about Serenity Prayer?
I am.
Wow. What's the name of the favourite again?
Catalina del Carpio.
Well, the reason why, not just because that was Hospital Pass, but not I don't really know much about this filly, Jamie. Tell me why this filly should potentially win this race.
The Paddy Toomey one?
Yes.
What's it called, Kate?
I swear to God. I've managed to fluff it up the first time.
Come on, give it a
Second
hat
time,
trick.
all good. And I've lost the name now. Catalina del Carpio.
Oh, amazing.
She is very promising. She's had 2 runs. The second of them, she was unlucky. But sometimes when a horse is unlucky, it can generate a bit more of a myth and a mystique than it actually is. So that's why I think she's favourite. A bit more on reputation than actual rating.
Yeah, it is a matter of time for Paddy Toomey, who a lot of people are already calling the next Aidan O'Brien, with the next big powerhouse Irish trainer will win a Royal Ascot race. This isn't it? This isn't it, Posty? Are you telling me this is it?
I think it could be, yeah.
Oh, man, another horse.
I agree with you completely. I think it's a weak event, but I think that surely the step up, the extra 2 furlongs in trip is going to suit this filly really well. And, you know, the horse that beat her the last set, Navan, ran well enough in the Oaks.
It ran all right in the Oaks, which is the big one at Epsom. I think if you were to watch that back, I'm not sure she's going to stay.
So
I
you're with
can't have her.
Serenity Prayer, but you're taking...
I'm with Serenity Prayer.
But then surely that you have to respect the form of the favourite.
No, not at all. I think
Okay.
I think she's better than the favourite because the horse called World, who Charlie's alluding to, very nearly won the big one at Epsom, OK? This is the only thing that got nearer at York in the Musadora. She wants to step up in
Nearer?
trip.
She was 5.5 lengths.
Yeah, but it's near enough. Your filly would have gone nowhere near World, all right? I'm telling you, you're an absolute... You got no chance. There's match bet in the offing here. Maybe we get one of them at Betano. Philippa Junior, and if you're listening and trainers, we'll have one of them.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll take you on with Serenity Prayer. I think it's one of the bets of the week. We're getting 3-1. It's Andrew Balling, it'll be Oisin Murphy. Lynchy, what do we like?
I'm just going to rub my hands and watch this match bet unfold.
It'll be more than a match bet as well, the way
We
he's
probably
going.
will have that match bet priced up as soon as I, like say, get any sort of Wi-Fi then, and when we actually get those
The
specials
traders
through.
are currently going
Yeah,
like
when we
that.
have got the specials through them, there are so many match bet opportunities on Betano. They absolutely love a match bet between horses, so we can make this happen.
Lovely.
It's a football thing, isn't it? It's an
Yeah.
Aston Villa thing. All right, okay. All right, anything else on the Thursday? It's a bit of a minefield day, the Thursday, isn't it? A lot of punters don't really like big field handicaps. We got quite a few of them. Posty?
Again, if I like to sing as a song in the King George V, I don't know, a race that was very good at Sandown.
In the handicap over a mile 4.
Yeah, and again, I think, you know, extra 2 furlongs, he's entering the Irish Derby as well. I thought he was interesting.
Is it still Valmont? Or if Wathnam bought him as well?
Still Valmont.
Still Valmont. Who are big owners in
and
their
then
own rights.
Buckingham Palace, my Never So Brave.
This is the once...
Well, I mean, I'm presuming that More Thunder will go for the Wokingham, but maybe not. So again,
This is for the once formerly great Sir Michael Stout.
as a young man growing up, Singspiel, Polsudski, all of these icons were the horses that I looked up to. He was a hero of mine, but Never So Brave was very, very unlucky at Chester on stable debut.
Is he not a bit high in the weights? Anyway, I won't go down that. You think he
9 to
wins,
1.
yeah? He's
Yeah,
now
and
trained by Andrew Balding.
Yeah, and I think, again, this strong gallop on...
You think that's a massive uptake, going from stout to Balding? That's just gives you a stone, does it?
No, I don't think it gives you that much, but there are a few horses where there's definitely been improvement.
Your words, not mine,
I
Charlie.
think
91
it's at
and-
Buckingham
yeah.
Palace. I've just got the hots for... at Epsom last week, Richard Fahey had 2 winners, didn't he? 2 handicap winners. And he'd been so quiet through the spring, like a stable about to take off. But there's a horse called Ramazan in there. It was second in the Victoria Cup last year of 106. It's £10 lower now.
Richard Fahey.
And it's just bubbling up.
Yeah.
You know
at
that
the right
Posty
time.
started off his riding career at Richard Fahey's? You did ride a winner around Chester, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
You can watch the video. It's marvellous. He looks absolutely terrified the whole way around. Where did you win?
Yeah.
I can't remember that. I just looked at the first furlong over and over again as you went into that bend. I was like, there he is. It's absolutely magnificent.
You've just made that up.
I absolutely haven't. I remember this well. It's one of the reasons why we get on, I think.
5
I just
furlongs
find the
sprint round
amusement.
there, you know, exactly.
All right, okay. So you have ridden flat winners. We should. Anything else on Thursday before we move on? Kate?
No, I was with the RIBBLESDALE. I mean, I want to have a selection in the RIBBLESDALE because it's a race I should love, but I struggle with it year on year because it's just that sort of afterthought, really, isn't it, from the Oaks where fillies just haven't been quite ready yet, or they've missed it because of one reason or another, or they're just very unexposed and you have no idea. So it gives us good opportunities, betting-wise, at the same time. And I did think Life is Beautiful is probably the way I play this, 6-1. Joint price now with Garden of Eden as well has been pushed out from 5s to 6s, but I thought that she would probably be the one to go with 3 starts to her name so far. Winner on debut, all-weather form, cliche in itself, all-weather form. Ascot then
For the
itself,
Gosdens.
for all it's for different track, and I just. Yeah, she would be the one that I'd expect to save a trip more so than plenty of these in here.
All right, okay. All right, let's move on, shall we? It's the Friday. And we go to one of the Group 1s of the week that people will be looking forward to. It's a race called the Commonwealth Cup, which is one of the sprints over 6 furlongs. For a lot of people out there, I imagine this might be banker time coming up in Shadow of Light, who's a hot favourite. And, of course, if Ruling Court or Field of Gold win the first race tomorrow on the St James's Palace, his odds, I imagine, will go down. What are they currently, Kate Tracey?
In from 7-4 to 6-4, Shadow of Light. 4-1 Babouche, 7-1 Jonquil, 8-1 Whistle Jacket, 12 Spa.
Shadow of Light, Lynchy, in the Guineas, when coming third. This is, of course, the best 2-year-old of last year. It was his 3-year-old return. He was very weak in the betting. He was said to have worked like a snail. Well, that's all the reports we were getting. He very nearly won it, Lynchy. He veered halfway across the track, but he was the fastest horse in that race.
Yeah, recall the fastest sectional of all. Makes total sense why he's here in the Commonwealth Cup. And if we think the Field of Gold and Ruling Court are going to contribute to the race of the year, potentially, then obviously he's got a massive chance. So, yeah, it just doesn't float your boat that much, 6-4, but I think he'll probably win.
A lot of people will be going there expecting him to win. So he's not racing over a mile. He's dropping back 2 and a bit furlongs, and he's over the 6 furlongs. Posty, is this a favourite you like?
Yeah, I like this guy. I'm with Lynchy. I mean, and I just think, like, Babouche, when you read Jer Lyons' comments after the win at Nace, it just didn't sound full of positivity. It was like...
He's an eternal pessimist, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it was like we were like trying to piece this horse back together, and it's kind of happened, but we won a couple of Group 1s anyway, so we may as well go and have a bash, you know. And I just wonder, would Jonquil be running in this if there wasn't Field of Gold and things like that? Would he be dropping back 2 furlongs in trip?
No, I don't think so. I thought the only danger to Shadow of Light, if I'm honest, I think there's also got to Arizona Plays, which is around about 25, 33 to 1s. He was placed at the meeting last year. He could be a play potentially from left field. It does happen in this race. I thought Babouche from Ireland was the only danger to Shadow of Light, and I do respect her, Lynchy.
Yeah. I've had a little bet on one in here, just in the theory or the hope that Ryan actually chooses the other one from we all think. So he's got Whistle Jacket and Ides of March in here. But that Ides of March looks good. Twice finished behind Whistle Jacket at the Breeders' Cup and then on the reappearance, but both times looked the better horse. And things went wrong at Newbury when he was caught on the outside. But Ides of March, I just wouldn't be surprised if Ryan chose that one ahead of Whistle Jacket, in which case it'll be a price crash.
What price is Ides of March?
Ides of March.
You have to scroll down a bit for that one.
Yeah, I was going to say 12 to 1. Actually, in from
12 to 1.
16s. 12s now.
Yeah, so Lynch's money with Betano is
Rory.
down. All right.
Before we came on.
All right, okay.
Because I
there's a
presume his
reason why
symbol
I
of honour wasn't a gelding, and he ran in this. He'd be second favourite, wouldn't he?
Yeah, of course.
All right, okay. So Shadow of Light, massive chance. I think he's going to win. Shadow of Light. I think Babouche will probably. I think this is one the bookmakers will be hiding behind the sofa for. There's a race called the Coronation Stakes we've got to do before we move on to the final day. We're getting through this now, guys. And one of the hot pots of the week will be the French 1,000 guineas winner, of course, controversially in the stewards' room, Zaragana, who represents the late Aga Khan, of course, Aga Khan studs. Francis Henri Graffard might have had a few winners on the board by now. Lynchy, a lot of people will be expecting this to be a winner.
I think she'll win, yeah. And it's easy to say that she's complicated, but I think she's being complicated by what they're making her asking her to do. I think she's more straightforward than she's being ridden that way, and I don't know why they've got it in her head, because you watch the first two starts and she's just push-button at every single stage, and then they're starting to drop her out, get creative, get a little bit left field with her, and I don't know why, but it's mean that we're not seeing the full power version. I'm pretty sure that on the back of that, with what happened in France last time, just ride her more handily, more sensibly, and just let her do her stuff, because I promise you, she's got a huge engine.
Yeah, I think she's got a huge engine. On paper, she really ought to win. So what price are we getting, Kate Tracey?
5-4 Zaragana.
Short.
Yeah, Falakea 11-4, and the other wild card Kontiki 9-2, 5-1 exactly, 12 bar.
Posty, this is a proper Marmite horse. Some people love her, some people hate her. Which one are you?
Can I be neither? I don't particularly hate her, but I'm. It's not a race that I'm probably that interested in.
Is there any horse that you hate?
Falakea. I thought Falakea looked very good at Newmarket. Jim Crowley was saying he thought she had the speed for a guinea. She's dropping back 2 furlongs, stiff 2 furlongs. I think it's in her favour. And you know, I'm just not gripped by the favourite.
Not gripped by the favourite, 5-4. So what else will win? Falakea?
Yeah.
There's been supplemented for Owen Burrows. You've got small. It's Sir Michael Stout's ex-pupil, by the way. That's his assistant. So you're suggesting that
I like the way you're trying to raise your own platform.
There is a rhetoric going on here. There's an underlying current, almost an elephant in the room, of you and Stouty at the moment. So Owen Burrows, he doesn't dislike you, which is a good thing. And you think she'll win. All right, fair enough. Okay, so anything else left fielded? There's a horse called Cersei. It was supposed to be a horse called Lake Victoria running in this. She's not afraid, no, Brian. We think Ryan will ride exactly now. He's pretty solid. There's a horse called Cersei, and she hit the line well at the Curragh. She's 25-1. There's a little bit of confidence about her running well at a price, I think. What price is Cersei for Betano?
Cersei should be about 25-1. 20s.
20s.
20s now, yeah,
You've
in from
nicked it, have you?
25s. You've literally nicked it.
All right, okay, a big 20-1 shot. Don't forget, of course, best odds guaranteed. If you bet anything now with Betano, whatever it goes on the day, they will reward you at the starting price. Okay, anything else on the Friday?
Can I chuck Flight into the mix for the Coronation?
You can.
Yeah, I thought that she was overpriced. I think she should be about 14s, but yeah, need to get her back into the betting there. But yeah, about 14s. Asheen Murphy, Ollie Sangster. I saw Ollie Sangster's lorry on the way down today, actually, so I know it's a few days out to be buying into that cliche, but
right.
yeah, I thought that we all know she was one of the two that ran a huge race in the Guineas on that penultimate start.
Yep.
Last time out wasn't quite as good at the Curragh, but she was massively inconvenienced by the bias that day, the pace bias, and she still ran to a level where it proved that her Newmarket run was no fluke. So I thought that she was one you can't discount at a big price.
All right, brilliant. Okay, that's the Friday, pretty much done. Anything else on the Friday just before we move on?
I thought, going back to the Fahey Edge, Stormy Impact that won the 3-year-old dash, got up late under Warren Fentiman. You know, I thought, again, track might suit better here, so I thought could maybe continue the upward trajectory.
And this is what is it running?
The Palace of Holyrood House.
Palace of Holyrood House.
Yeah.
Still don't even think that's a race.
Have a look at the, Kate, if you can have a look at the Albany.
Yep.
See what the prices are. Well, there's a horse called Gold Digger in that. Richard Spencer trained it. Now, it went to Yarmouth on debut, and you watched it and you thought, God, that was good. And then you look at the time and you thought, God, that was really good. And then you look at how the forms worked out. 3rd, 4th, 7th have all come out and won, you think.
And they're running the second against her
got
again, so a
something
good
here,
race.
Yeah. So that Gold Digger, it's a Starman. Them Starmans are popular, aren't they?
They working
6-1
out well,
with
yeah.
Betano, I'm hearing?
Yep,
Is it?
6-1 in from 7s.
Oh,
yeah.
is it? I
Only
sort of hoped it
6-1?
was. Yeah, I thought this is the left field.
That's on the Friday, right?
Yeah.
In the
But
Albany.
Gold Digger, substance, style, and speed figures as well.
I mean,
The
I've seen
Holy
our
Trinity.
audience, so I'm not going to make too
Holy
many
Trinity.
puns about that. All right, so there is potential. There's a lot of tomatoes to Stouty for you. There's a potential for me and a tomato with Gold
Don't
Diggers here.
rise to it, don't rise.
All right, okay. Saturday, the final day. We're cooking with gas now. The Queen Elizabeth II Stakes, of course, as it's called. It tends to be a missed around name, that, but we have got 6 furlongs. We have got, again, a brilliant sprint coming up here. Kate Tracey, how do we bet?
Lazat 3-1 favourite, Inisherin 9-2, 5-1 Stormboy, 6s Satono Rev, 8-1 Bar.
Now, this is where we've got to give Lynchy the floor here, and those of you that are still with us, this is why you've been sticking around. This is the big play of the week.
No, I think it's a good price, this 3-1 Lazat. I do. And I know that the European sprinters, generally, they've got a bit of a downer, but this is a proper one, this. He's only had 2 goals in sprints, and he won a Prix Maurice de Guiche by 3 lengths, and then last time out as Sean T. He won in a ridiculously fast time against 2 horses who come out and won group races since. He just left them behind, and he's in such a good place right now. But this Lazat, I promise you, he's like a proper bona fide Group 1 sprinter. And if you get one of those at a Royal Ascot sprint, and they're not Australian, like Stormboy's fluffed his lines, I think this will just win.
What price?
About Lazat
Yeah.
was
3 to 1.
3 to 1, yeah.
We're getting 3 to 1 about the best runner of the week, says Lynchy. Posty, got anything to add to that?
Can see it. I still could see an angle with Inisherin as well. His second time after the wind off.
Commonwealth Cup winner last year.
Yeah, exactly. He was, and you know, his reappearance at York when supposedly, according to Kevin Ryan, he was sort of half cooked. You know, he's only half ready. He still got it done, and yeah, I thought 5 to 1 was sense about him as well.
All right, brilliant. Okay, Kate, anything in this?
Yeah, Flora of Bermuda.
Flora of Bermuda.
In the
Another
Wafnan.
one, Wafnan.
Another Wafnan
Wasn't
one.
trained by Michael Stout, was it, before it went to Andrew Balding?
I know, it's a shame really, because she had those Bermuda triangle colours on beforehand, and now the Wafnan one doesn't quite hit the same. But yeah, another Wafnan purchase, and just one who I thought was overpriced at 12 to 1. In from 16s, actually, from 16s into 12. So quite the storm in her. And again, I just thought she was overpriced considering her intertwining form lines with Inisherin as well. I just thought that, yeah, she was far more value.
Brilliant. She's a big price for that. All right, there's a Japanese horse running in this race as well called Satono Rev, who ran behind the best sprinter of the world, which is called Ka-Ching Rising.
Yeah.
They call him, of course, in Hong Kong. That has got a chance, I think, a big chance of upsetting Lazat for Lynchy. So I'm going to go Japanese here. Satono Rev, Flora Bermuda. Inisherin and
France, yeah.
we're all taking on your Lazat. That's bizarre, isn't it? All right, okay, 3 to 1 Lazat with Betano.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Saturday? It's a tricky day. We've got the Hardwick. We've got a horse called Kalpana for Andrew Balding. I won't go there. But Andrew Balding, who is a very, very good filly. She might win the Arc, they're thinking, a little bit later on. She takes in the Mile 4 Hardwick, the Group 2, one of the best races on the Saturday. And Lynchy, can you add to that? She's got to win.
She'll win one. She'll
win.
Group 1 filly, proper Group 1 filly, that. She seems to be in a better race than... Sorry, she's in a worse race than she should be. I think that about that Trianmore should be in the Coventry as well, shouldn't he? Like a Dolphin horse.
There's a horse in the Chesham called Trianmore. They're calling the next Frankel. And goodness knows what price he is with Betano. I don't think I think he's going to be short, isn't he? Probably the big odds-on shot at the meeting.
I think so, yeah.
There's not many odds-on shots, are there?
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is great. All right, there's only one more thing to do then, and that's to give our audience, who've been very patient, guys, and they're melting away, and you guys watching at home, get your questions in. We're going to be answering them a little bit later on. But best bet of the week. Kate Tracey, take the floor.
Trawler Man.
Trawler Man?
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Gold Cup. What
The fact-
price was he again?
He was, I think he was favourite then in the end, wasn't he?
No,
3 to 1 we're hearing. Illinois, obviously.
Illinois favourite, yeah. So, like,
3
the
to
horse
1.
that is the proven stayer.
That's the team's team.
Yeah, the team's
that
I
was
know,
the
that's why I'm
team's
glad you came to me first, so I could poach him first.
I thought you were going to say Field of Gold, Kate. I've got to be honest.
No,
Posty.
hold on.
Los Angeles, Prince of Wales.
Los Angeles, 9 to 4 in the Prince of Wales.
And
3 to 1 Lazat.
yeah.
3 to 1. I'm Serenity Prayer as well, which goes into RIBBLESDALE. That's 3 to 1. So I don't know what the multiple will pay on that. Go to Betano, you can work it out. That is us pretty much done. Absolutely fantastic for Royal Windsor to have us. Well done to the guys that produced it. And of course, Betano, if you're watching online, we're telling you that apparently there's loads of you. Thanks for joining. Lynchy, you've been marvellous. Can we get a round of applause, guys, for Jamie Lynch? Charlie Poste, who'll be making his way back to his broken down car any minute now, delightfully. Kate Tracey from Betano. I've been Dave Orton. This has been great. Thanks a lot. Marvellous. Thank you, guys. Those